Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. It is me, Demetra K, and I hope you're having a great day so far. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. And you are also family. So thank you for joining me here. I won't be here that long, maybe about a half an hour, but y'all know I'll be lying. Okay. I don't think I've ever been here half an hour yet, but I'm going to try to do that today. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be talking about a white woman, or I should say white women, are tired of the nonsense and bullying from Black women. Now listen, hey, Brother Don, my triple OG moderator, hope you're doing well. Kara Rants, how you doing? Long time no see. Now I want to say this right off the top, okay? This is where I'm going to have to ask everybody to put on some thinking caps and, put the emotions, I don't know, somewhere over there for now. Because what I'm going to say is going to be, I guess, a double-handed, if you will, opinionated, whatever you want to call it, because I think it's very interesting. I actually was wanting to talk about this for a while. I've seen this kind of trending a little bit on social media, and so I said, okay, I'll talk about it today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all what she said, and we can talk about that, and then I got some things to say, so I hope you guys will not, and I know that you won't. I just want to say that because I know some people watch this who've never seen this show, and they might think, oh, she tripping or whatever the case is. But most of y'all who know me by now know that I, don't choose sides. Well, I choose Black side. Let's keep it a buck. But I try to offer an even-handed opinion about a lot of things. I'm rarely just black and white. I try to kind of be in the middle from a common sense point of view. So I'm just saying that right off the rip. Who else is on here before I get started? Priscilla, what's going on with you? Jersey City one, who cares? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for all that you do. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Tyrone, what's going on with you? Bobby Wobby says this got to be a joke. Well, I don't know. We're going to see. Hey, Mike Nice, where have you been? And the question is, where have I been, right? I'm the one that's not been here. Sherry, he says, all they have to do is stay out of our faces and spaces and businesses, and they will not feel like they are being bullied. Leave us the hell alone. Got you. You said, okay, Carrie, you've been missing some lives. Yeah, and admittedly, I haven't been here really like that for the last month, but I'm here to stay for a while. Gloria, how you doing? Says, ain't nobody thinking about her and her people. Candy, what's going on with you? Sister Shirley, how you doing? All right. And Bobby said, so the Black women give us a break. Uh-oh. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to show y'all this video really quick, and I want you guys' opinion. And of course, I'm going to have some opinions as well. Okay. So y'all ready? All right, here we go.
I think that I speak for a lot of people who look like me, unless you are virtue signaling or have blue hair. And if you do, then keep scrolling. But for the rest of us, we're exhausted. We're exhausted with the rules of the things that we can and can't do. And we're tired of hearing white women, like, dear white women, who's perpetuating what? We're just exhausted with it. You can't have our hairstyle, cultural appropriation. Braids don't belong to you, sorry. And don't smile at us. When you're walking past us, don't smile at us. I will smile at whoever I want. That's just me. I smile at people. It's a cultural thing from when I was little. We were taught to smile at people, and that's okay. I mean, it's borderline, no, not even borderline. It's bullying. Just leave us alone. You don't have to tell us what you think about us. We don't care. Just leave us alone. I mean, it's starting to look like you are just obsessed with us. That's not a pretty look.
Okay, so let me remove her. Remove her from the studio altogether. So, of course, y'all heard her gripe, and basically, she didn't say Black women by name, but we know who she was talking about because she mentioned the hair. She said basically braids do not just belong to you. Apparently, I guess somebody's telling her she can't smile. I haven't heard that, but to her point about the trend, dear white women, I've seen that on social media, and it basically is, I guess, usually it's Black women that says, "Dear white women," and then they'll attach their gripe to that or whatever the case is. So I've been seeing a lot of white women basically say, no, we're not listening. You're not talking to us, that type of thing, right? And so I want to just get this out the way. I think that trend is trending because, well, white women have been problematic to not just Black women, but Black people in general, right? It's just been a fact. There's nothing I'm making up. It's nothing you guys are making up. From the history of Black people and white women has not been good for Black people, right? Especially Black men. Y'all know the history, all that. Emmett Till is a great one. Not great because of what happened, but just one that's kind of all encompassing of what happens sometimes when white women come into contact with Black men. Of course, a lot of towns and things have been burnt down due to something a white woman said that was not true. All throughout history, right? And a lot of the Black towns suffered because of that. Of course, we know at the end of that was just jealousy, right? Because a lot of times her man or men knew that she was probably lying, but they're like, it's a great reason to ride, into the town and burn it up and cause mayhem and destruction and all that other stuff. So, while she is mad that she is being called out, there's a reason why that's the case, right? Of course, within the last couple of years, we heard, Karens have always been a thing, but they named that particular woman what the last 5-6 years it was Karen, right? Remember, you couldn't go anywhere and not see a Karen video. Now Karen usually is a white woman that is causing mayhem, right? Now when the term started coming out, we saw the woman that was in Oakland, right? She was living in a Black area that was becoming gentrified. So she was walking her dog and she saw some Black people barbecuing at the park. Now, I guess the ordinance changed to you have to have a smokeless, which I don't even know what that is, right? A smokeless barbecue pit when you're barbecuing in the park. Well, she didn't like that. Now, mind you, she moved herself into the Black neighborhood. So she tried to tell them what to do. You're not supposed to have a smoke, it's smoke, and this, that, and the other. And they was like, man, get on out of here. And they kept doing what they were doing, right? So, of course, she weaponizes the police and she, almost falls out and she's crying. Oh, I'm so scared. Now, all of this was on video, right? You can see nobody was even thinking about the lady at all. And so kind of like from that point, we started hearing about Karens, right? So again, I hear what that woman is saying, but it's like you're kind of leaving off some context because, as usual, it's almost like, well, we're not doing anything. We're just minding our business. And you guys keep messing. Nah, that ain't the case, right? Now, this is where I want everybody to woosah, okay? Woosah, put on your thinking cap. Now, bringing it home to the Black woman. We've seen and heard this a lot, okay? By that of Malcolm X, and it says the most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. Now, that came from a speech in 1962 in Los Angeles where he was, having a conversation with Black Americans. And, that's where you also heard him say, who taught you that I hate the color of your skin, the texture of your hair, your lips, your nose, and, from your head to the soles of your feet, right? That's kind of where all that was. And at the end of that, he was basically saying, hey, Black man, you need to protect this Black woman. Okay. Now, again, that was 1962. Okay. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit, hot and tight. Now, I'm a Black woman, and I'm take this down. I'm a Black woman, been one for 54 years. And I just got to kind of say that because I want to give people my resume, right? I'm not new to being a Black woman, okay? So I think I'm equipped to say this. Now, when Malcolm X, gave that speech, I think maybe he was dealing with a different type. Now, I'm not blanking. I'm not talking about all Black women. Lord knows I got to say that. The Black woman back then was just probably a little bit different, right? And I heard Brother Phil say that one time in one of his, videos. This is a while back. He talked about the quote. He said, but Malcolm X wasn't talking about the women today. He wasn't talking about some of the women that, run around saying the black woman is the most unprotected, disrespected. Like, for example, we saw Megan Thee Stallion. She was on SNL or something like that, and she was playing Malcolm X's, voice saying that. And it's like, really, Megan? Really? So I say all that to say, while the white woman has her gripe, and we'll concede some of that, we don't have a right to tell her what to do. But those same black women that are telling the white woman what to do, I want to know this, okay? Why don't those same black women tell other black women what to do, what to stop doing, and what to start doing? Now, this is not the first time I've ever said this, right? But I think because we as black women, we have a lot going on, right? I will concede that we are the most I'll concede all of that. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, you cannot protect what you can't correct. And unfortunately, this is where I'm gonna need y'all to really just put on throw the emotions away. Unfortunately, nowadays, with this sister, not all sisters, I'm talking about the sisters over there, you can't say nothing to her. She's above correction, cannot and will not take accountability, will point the finger at everybody else but herself. Now, I also want to go to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he said his work was 75% with the woman and 25% with the man, because the woman will spend, at least back then, right, most of the time with the children in the household. She's going to be raising and cultivating and all of that. So he needed to spend more time with her, right? So that she can make sure the children are intact, the household's intact, she's intact, her husband's intact, or whatever the case is, right? So I'm just wondering, I want to know from y'all, and I know probably some of y'all, not all y'all, probably gonna, raise an eyebrow, but, at what point can we hold the sister accountable to anything? I'm not saying that white woman is right. I agree with her to the point of, yeah, all right, maybe stop telling them what to do. But to that, like y'all said, stay out of our business. Stop trying to tell us what to do, right? And I'll tell y'all, I have a copious amount of stories with run-ins with white women. Most of them I work with or work for, which is why I said I'd be hard-pressed to do it again, because it's just something about that dynamic between the white woman on the job and the black woman, especially if she's a subordinate. And I'll tell you another thing. I know black women who are the superior, if you will, just to use those terms, on the job, and the white woman is a subordinate, and she ain't gonna act right for nobody. She gonna go on, not all white women, but the ones that the stories I know, she gonna lie. She gonna say somebody did something to her. Oh, I don't like the way she talked to me. So I'm not saying that white woman is completely right. They got their own issues, but I wanted to take this time to say, at what point will and can we say anything to the black woman and get back to that woman that Malcolm X was talking about? Y'all remember, he was part of the nation. So he's used to it. Now, I know not all of his life, but when he got in the nation, he was used to dealing with, sisters from the nation. MGT, right? Now, if you know anything about the MGT, they about that life. They ain't walking around half naked. They not having any and everything come out of their mouth, not in public anyway, right? They are upstanding women. So, again, I'm going to shut up and I'm getting the comment section. A lot of times that quote is thrown around, the most disrespected, unprotected. But at what point do we stop as black women disrespecting each other and everybody else? Because again, to that white woman's point, yeah, y'all telling us what to do, but where's the trend of telling the black woman what to do? I'm just asking. So I'm gonna get in the comment section because okay, John Lovell is about to go because he on here acting crazy unless y'all let's see. Yeah, he gone. Anyway, let's get into the let's get into the comment section, because Lord knows, I hope I ain't step on too many toes. But I was just wondering, I've been kind of wanting to talk about that for a minute. At what point can we say anything to the sister? Not all sisters, but some sisters, and y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, let's see who came on here when I started talking. Lachey, what's going on? You say, wow, wedding at Kana, how you doing? He says, girl, what? Amina, what's going on with you? Says she wishes. So I think you were talking about the video. Oh, Gloria, you talking about she got on too much makeup. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even really paying attention to her like that. I was just kind of listening to what she was saying. She doesn't want the black woman telling her what to do no more, what she could wear and all of that. But it's like, yeah, she should take her own advice. Because I know that black woman that's on, social media saying, dear white woman, I know it's coming from a place of we tired of y'all too, okay? And I think it's fair to say that the black woman was tired of the white woman first. So if we were just really being honest. All right. I'm just reading y'all comments about the video. Martina, how you doing? Say what? You say you do what? And then she said we were obsessed with them. It's like, I don't know. I'm not obsessed with them. Maybe somebody is. I don't know any sister that's obsessed with white women. I don't, Sunlight says projecting. Gloria says she's wearing spiders for eyelashes. Uh-oh. Amina says the Esau, Edomite, Neanderthal. Dang, says can't help themselves but to co-opt us. What else do they have? Nothing. I got you. Sherry says, not the Uno in reverse, obsessed with what? We are never alone because there will be always be some white person watching us, and that is the truth. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with all of that. But again, while that sister is telling her Becky what to do, when she gonna start telling her homegirls what to do? You know what I mean? Renz, where you been? You say white women and men shouldn't even use the words tired and fatigued because we've been exhausted with a lot of your rear ends. Yeah, totally. Of course, we know they've usurped black fatigue, and they tried to turn it into something, but it went over like a lead balloon. It didn't really go nowhere. Lady Soul for real, how you doing? It says you finally call it alive. Woo! Harvey, how you doing? It says black should stop posting about whites and Latinos unless they're posting about you and self-focus instead. I mean, we could post about that too, but I think, yeah, we need to definitely look in the mirror, because nobody is perfect. I mean, we have our gripes, and rightfully so, right? I would say for the most part, as far as Black Americans, usually we mind our business. It's everybody else that got to be wanting to know what we doing and why we doing it and all that other stuff, right? So I don't know, but I agree. Yeah, we need to, look inside as well. Gloria says it all started with them. And Simo, how you doing? Sunlight says no more dear white women if you learn what to bathe and wash your hands when you use the bathroom. Let's make a deal. Yes, I will say this too, because y'all know I don't like to kick it. I've been in the restroom and I've seen sisters not wash their hands either, and it's like, what you about to go touch on after you left up out of here, So I've seen kind of all women do that, which is highly disgusting. As edgy, what's going on with you? Amina says, yep, I remember that white moment of delusion. Okay, Herschel, how you doing? Veronica, what's going on with you? Says some of them think we're messing with them. They are very paranoid. Yeah, I think in fairness to a lot of them probably just jumping on that, we have black fatigue. We're tired of black people. It's like, well, should have had that conversation with your ancestors when they went and got us. We didn't go and say, hey, I'm here to just be on the plantation. We didn't do that. They came and they got us. And now they tired of us. Well, how do you think our ancestors felt when y'all came and got our peoples when they was minding their business? See, that should be the theme. Mind your business, right? Facts Not Feeling says, a war is going to erupt in the comment section. I can see it coming. Nah, I think we're going to be all right. I love my ad block. How you doing? Says the world is tired of Keisha and 4 baby daddies, Pam. Are they tired of the 4 baby daddies, though? I'm just asking. Edgy, you says, I love Malcolm X and Fred Hampton. Yes, indeed. Gilbert, what's going on with you? Everything's up. Facts Not Feeling says, sorry, Malcolm X, my brother, not protecting divestors or swirlers. So I mean, I get that, but again, that was back then. I think black women should be protected here too. You know what I mean? But again, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says you can't protect what you can't correct. So for the sisters that say you can't, why y'all ain't protecting us, it's like, well, you gonna button your lip just long enough for a brother to be able to say something, be able to do something. Because I hear it. A lot of brothers say, I'm not gonna be going to risk my life over this cackling woman that you won't be quiet and you can't say nothing to, and this, that, and the other. You done got yourself in a situation now because I got to protect my woman, or keep my manhood intact. You want me to go, muscle up and do something when you could have just buttoned your lip. See, some of that got to come from the woman. I'm not getting my man in no situation where he might be 6 feet deep because I could just be quiet. See what I'm saying? So, yeah. Flashback. You say black women skip right over the hair part and love the quote how unprotected they supposedly are. Even they are hair-hatted hooligans. Lord have mercy. So you're basically talking about women who wear wigs and weaves. I don't have a dog in a fight. I don't wear them. I understand why a lot of people do it, is to protect their hair and stuff. But yeah, I've heard that conversation as well. Some sisters telling white women they can't wear their hair in braids or whatever the case is, but yeah, you got a whole blonde wig on your head. Not that black people don't have blonde hair, but y'all know what I mean. So again, I don't have a dog in that fight at all. Yes, as Edgy, Malcolm was ahead of his time. Frank, how you doing? Says sick of Karen's entitlement and cultural appropriation. I got you, brother Damon. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Facts Not Feelings said that's correct. X was talking about conservative feminine women. I'd imagine he was, and even women who may not be. I don't think they should not be protected, but for those women, you're gonna have to be quiet and be able to take some direction. You know what I mean? You got to be coachable just a little bit. Ren says now a lot of black women disrespecting themselves. Unfortunately, yeah, that needs to have a conversation as well. My dad is 81 years old, and he often talks about. He says, "Man, back in the day, you wouldn't even. It was rare to see women. He says black women doing the stuff they're doing now. Not that black women never did some of the stuff we see now, but it wasn't the norm." He said it's crazy, but he said this was already been talked about and prophesized that. Especially with the black woman, they take her clothes off, have her speaking and doing any and every kind of way, and it's worked. So, yeah. Amina says she took Brother Malcolm's statement out of context. Who took it out of context? If you don't mind me asking. Ernest, how you doing? Heather, what's going on with you? Says they do. Let's see. Let me skip on down. Patrice, how you doing? Facts Not Feelings, she says, I've never touched a white woman in my life, and white women be hollering at me, but if she throws some braids on and get a tan and have a fat booty, you don't sit down somewhere, okay? Sit down. Because behind all that, braids and the big booty, she still is who she is, okay? Don't get it twisted, brother. I'm just trying to help you out. Yes, indeed, Mike. More Truth Monday. Flashback says, if a hair-hatted hooligan is cussing and fussing in public, I'm going the other direction. I get it. I mean, you'll probably catch a bad one, right? If you try to say something to her. I've been tempted to say something sometimes, but I'm like, no, I'm too old to be fighting. So, yeah, no. Sister Shirley says, I have to agree with you 100%. All right. Bobby says, you finna get in trouble. I'm used to it. Ren says, tell it, speak it, and preach it, Demetra. All right. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Veronica says, I'm proud of myself for being modest. I'm not a people pleaser either. Yeah. Back then, black women especially used to be modest. Now let's go back down memory lane. Not that none of us were there, but white women and other people used to come to the black woman, even off the plantation. Oh, Miss Bertha, I need you to help me with my children. The color purple illustrated that perfectly. When a white woman went up to Sophia, it was like, I need you to help take care of my children. She's like, no, I ain't finna be doing all of that, right? And she ended up getting in trouble. But that's what it was back then, because the black woman had her stuff together. She had her children intact for the most part. And the white woman was like, listen, we fresh off the plantation too, and we ain't used to really dealing with our children like that. So we need you to come over, bathe and feed and all that. I tell you all the time, both of my grandmamas was domestics. They took care of white people's children. So that's kind of where it was. But the black, not saying the black, all black women aren't like that anymore, but we've kind of lost our way just a little bit, just a little bit. Especially in the modest department, right? Let's see. And Veronica says you love your natural hair. Me too, even though sometimes it's like, ugh, I'll be thinking about a perm, but then I'm like, no, I don't do it. Flashback says God is holding them accountable. You have you seen their marriage rates? Yep. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. You cannot out legislate the will of God, even though they're trying to do that, right? God is like, nah, y'all got to get what y'all been putting out, right? Your time is up. Sister Shirley says, I remember, Demetra, I grew up in the 60s and the women were different then. Yeah. I was born in 71. So I'm closer to that, where I saw women, sisters dressed, and hair was done. And I get appalled sometimes. And can I tell y'all something? I went to the store today and I saw a black man with a bonnet on. It was like 10:30 in the morning with a bonnet on. He had a bonnet, a white beater, and some pajamas, and he was coming out of the store. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? I was taken aback, like, really, like, dude, you get okay. So yeah. As Eddie says, them folks still have the plantation entitlement mindset. Many, I would say the vast majority of them still living in the past. They like to, right? Silky Danielle, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Amina says, Demetra, you ain't lying. Those microaggressions be making me want to catch a case. Proud Native Chick, how you doing? Says that's the reason why I don't hang out with he says black women. I mostly know black women because I'm a black woman. I hang out with black women. I don't hang out with people. I don't care if you're black, green, white, orange. I don't hang out with ignorant people. If I cannot go to the restaurant and sit down at the table without you acting a donkey, then I'm not going to hang out with you because you a fool. And I don't want to, be in the crosshairs of your nonsense, right? So I try not to hang out with people who are with the foolishness. If you can't say nothing to them, they too quick at their mouth and they just doing any and everything. Nah, I'm not going to hang out with you. That's just me, right? I don't care what color you are, who you are. If you ignorant, you get one time to be ignorant with me. And that's especially if we eating out. No. Frank says they are professional victims too. Let's see. And Gloria says, I will never be jealous of anyone, black or white. Yeah, why should you be? You're your own self, your own beautiful self. You don't need to look on somebody else's paper and hate, right? Like, Flashback says they ain't listened to nobody. Let's keep it $1.50. Well, that's got to come from us. And when I say us, the mothers, we have to start teaching our children and fathers too. But we have to start teaching our children to take correction. And a lot of times, I just keep it real with you. I say all the time, to me, this is the worst generation of parents ever made. Now, of course, they were made that way by us, right? But they're afraid of their children. Well, I don't want to say nothing because they get mad. See, I was the type of parent, I snatch a knot in you. Say something crazy again. Or say it the first time. See, I raise boys too, and they'll tell you, you get froggy one time, it'll be your last time. But parents nowadays are, the kids is running a household, can't say nothing to them. Like, boy, I'll punch you in your chest. Those were the days. Anyway, Tracy says white women were the original queens of, the corn, if you will. All right. Let me skip down a little bit because I see I'm behind terribly. She's not that into you. How you doing? It says it's all projection. I'd say a lot of what that woman was saying was projection for real. All right, let's see who else came on here that I did not see. Okay, Brother Damon, I just want to make sure I'm good because I'm kind of scared. Michael, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Proud Native Chicken says leave white women alone, black women. Arniba, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Facts Not Feeling says a sister today called me daddy, and damn, is she giving Me, energy like that, we got a future definitely. She call, oh, you like when a woman call you daddy? Okay. Veronica, he says, I see white women looking at my naturally beautiful hair. Yeah, I've had some, say they like my hair, especially when I was wearing it out. I'm not doing it as much anymore. Let's see. Casual 42, how you doing? Lachey says, I agree that we sisters should be held accountable for something sometimes. Yeah. If somebody, my younger brother, he's coached a lot of teams and, little league, this, that, and the other. And he says, I don't really believe in always patting the athletes on the back. Oh, you did a good job, even if they lost. He was like, every once in a while. Because if you're always told, go, Johnny, you're the best. Oh, Johnny, it doesn't matter if you lost, Johnny, you're the best. When will they ever be able to sit and say, I didn't play a good game today. I need to correct this, that, and the other, or whatever the case is. When do they get to do that? See, we're living in a society now where everybody's doing a great job. You're doing the best you can. It's like, are you really? Now, again, I'm Generation X. We grew up kind of tough, latchkey kid and all that other stuff. So I've gotten that criticism too. Y'all just, mean. Y'all don't have no compassion. It's like, well, we kind of grew up rough, but, I don't know. At what point can you say anything to people or correct or any of that kind of stuff? I don't know. Let's see. Flashback says, sister paid good money for that cursed hair to cover that crown chakras. Yeah, again, I don't wear wigs or weaves, so I don't know a lot about why they do it. I've heard, Sharon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else came on here. Entree, how you doing? Says, I don't think sisters are sweating white women. My opinion, white women are trying to copy our sisters' appearance to be noticed by black men. Their men aren't attracted to that. No, you're right. From what I understand, white men like they women, kind of straight up and down. They don't like all that, and all that other stuff or whatever the case is. I don't know. That might be true that they're trying to attract black men or whatever, but I'm one of those people. I don't pay attention to too many other people to be mad about any of that. White women want to wear braids or whatever the case is, whatever. Problem with us as black people, we don't really gatekeep much. And I don't know how much you could gatekeep braids because everybody kind of wears braids. I don't know. But the other stuff, we're quick to invite people to the cookout for being able to, do the Tootsie Roll or whatever it is, boots on the ground real good. And then we get mad, as I always say, when they come in there and get the macaroni and cheese recipe and then go take it and sell it and say, oh, I came up with this, So, yeah. Let's see. Who else came on here? Monet, what's going on with you? Rose, what's going on? Corey says some sisters are hurtful toward each other. Yeah, we don't never want to have that conversation. Never. We never want to talk about that. The stuff we do to each other as black women, the stuff we say, sleeping with each other's men. We never want to have that conversation. See, because I'm not interested as much as what the white woman is doing, as much as I'm interested in what the black woman is doing, because the black woman is like me. The black woman is important in the black community so that she can help stabilize and raise the black community where it needs to be. But we focus on what, Ms. Ann is doing, but you ain't focused on what Bonquisha doing. Bonquisha, I would imagine, now I know the white woman, she got some power, but Bonquisha has more of a direct effect on black women, I would think, right? Because that's who we're usually in closer proximity to. See, I'm not that friend or that sister, auntie or whatever, just be seeing people wilding out and be like, well, no, you can't really say nothing to them. Now, I'm going to say something to you, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? So we got to get to that point. Mars, how you doing? Says, hello, wow, really, to them women, the over 400 years of bullying, Crimea River, they did now. What has happened ain't as bad as how they treated our people. No, I totally agree with you. Totally. She's just not that into you. This paranoid because of their guilt shouldn't be a problem. Our problem. Well, I think it also has a lot to do with now white people are kind of being more unapologetic about saying how we feel and we're sick of black people and all of that. So I think that's kind of where that's coming from. But then again, there is a trend where black women are saying, dear white women, and then they want to go on to whatever it is they want to admonish white women about. So yeah. Facts, not feelings, you say. People don't believe me when I say many of our sisters are trying to be like them folks. Yeah. But as Malcolm X said too, who taught you to hate yourself? And we know where that came from. We were taught to hate ourselves by the same people who said they got black fatigue, right? We were taught that our black skin, our hair, and our features weren't good enough, which is why you see a lot of sisters now, they're going and getting surgeryed up. They're getting their nose looking like little bee noses and little bee stingers and all that other stuff. They don't like their wide, beautiful noses. See, I had a very woke upbringing, not the fake woke, but woke in every sense. Of course, being born in the Nation of Islam, my father has been an FOI since he was 19. He's 81 years old. And I remember hearing from, since I can even remember my dad talking to my sister and I saying, and my brother as well, you got wide noses so you can get more air, right? So he would always edify us as black people. Never that, oh, you need to, covet what another woman looks like. He would always say, man, they lay out in the sun because they trying to look like you. They putting all that makeup on because they trying to put color on their face. They're trying to look like you. So that's what I heard from a small child. So I never really wanted to assimilate to try to look like, I just never did, So yeah. Andre, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. Yeah, I think it's a good subject. In a way, it's kind of taboo, because some certain things we ain't supposed to say out loud, but if we don't have these conversations, then how do we grow? And when I say we, I mean me too. I'm not sitting up here like I'm perfect. I'm not. Just a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not perfect. I have my issues as well. Tracy says, so only black females have more than one baby daddy? Really? No, we know that's not the case. Lachey says, yes, we need to humble ourselves before we have that protection. Yeah, and we should be protected, but think about what we're saying. I want you black men to protect me when I don't even protect myself. As they say in the nation, women, don't be out at night by yourself. Really kind of don't be out there like that anyway. But if you got to go out there, don't be out there by yourself. Don't put yourself in harm's way because the freaks come out at night, right? So that's where wisdom has to come in, man. I probably shouldn't be out there late at night by myself or whatever, something happened. You know what I mean? So we got to kind of use wisdom too. And again, black women, and this is not an original idea for me. I've heard a lot of people say it. I've heard Ayanna Van Zant say it. I heard Shahrazad Ali say it. Dr. Ava Muhammad has said it. So many great women that's a lot older than me, RIP to Dr. Ava Muhammad, said, black women, our mouth is reckless sometimes. Boy, we could razor blade and lemon juice you up and like nothing, right? So a lot of that has to come from us checking our mouth. Like, ooh, I want to really just cut them up. But sometimes you got to say, nah, I need to have some restraint here, So yeah. And Veronica says, true words can't protect what doesn't want to be corrected. Yeah. How do you do that? Gina, how you doing? Says, okay, 200 years ago, we should all be polite and caring. Most people come out of slavery. Well, yeah, we should be polite. Markea, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says, the problem with our women and our people in general is rebellion against the Most High. Repentance of heart is the only thing that will change that part, period. I totally agree with you. We are completely out of lockstep with the will of God. We are. We need to get back to that. And I'm not saying you need to go to church or, any of that other stuff, but you need to be in tune with God. As y'all say all the time, the Most High, Rosie says, well, a lot of these males aren't the men of yesterday. Most of these males couldn't protect you if they had to in this day and age. Yeah, some of that is true. I agree with that. Some men, they for whatever reason have not gotten that instilled in them. That's a whole different subject. But most of the men I know, if not all of them, I know that they would protect me if it came down to it. In fact, there's a lot of things I couldn't tell my daddy when I was coming up because, oh yeah, my dad right now will be in the pen. Right now, if I told him a lot of things because I just have that kind of dad, Okay. Some of these comments I'm just gonna skip over because they're out here wilding. Catherine, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says Meg Thee Stallion took Brother Malcolm's statement about the black woman being the most disrespected, etc., out of context. Okay, got you. That's what he was talking about. Got you. Beverly White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sharon says I can understand the issue with the smoke from the grill, depending on how close you are. You end up smelling like smoke. Yeah, but you can't move into somebody's neighborhood and say, "Well, I don't like what you're doing." You know, they move in the neighborhoods where people have music playing loud. It's just kind of the culture there, and then they wanna they playing music loud. It's like, first of all, you wasn't even over here. Now you moved over here. Now you want the whole neighborhood to acclimate to you? Nah, you know? So yeah. Let's see. Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Buck Dancing Ward, the genius. How you doing? It says unreal. Okay, and that y'all saw that was all I read of that comment. Let's see. Eric, how you doing? Says, shaking my head, D, I don't care what she says. I don't trust them or care to deal with them, especially white women. Smiling faces tell lies when it comes to them folks. Yeah, you know, I totally agree with you. I mean, all of that dear white woman is not without merit, right? A lot of those black women are talking to the white women because they do be doing a lot, you know. Like I said, I got stories, you know. Veronica says, I'm a 1964 baby born in Memphis, Tennessee. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I saw a man wearing a bonnet today. I wanted to just turn around and go back in the car and say, yeah, no. It was a big one, too. It wasn't even like do-raggish. It was like one of those, you know how those bonnets, they kind of fan out. Like, okay. Damien says, was that guy at the store eating Fruit Loops? He might have been. Because at first I thought it was a woman, but then I was like, no, that's a man because he kind of got a lot of beard going on, you know. Rosie says the lines have been blurred so much, everyone all over the place, whether male or female. Yep, it's hard to tell, right? Lachey, he says, yes, facts. I don't want to hang with ignorance no matter what color it is. Exactly. Ooh, I'm behind in these comments. Sound of E-Pip. He says they can kick rocks. Okay, got you. Damien says leaping frog into ass whooping. Let's see. Mental OG, how you doing? He says for a group of people who have black fatigue, they can keep our names out their mouth. They can't keep their names out our mouth. Yeah, I mean, what would they do without us? I'll wait, right? Lady Sofa Rose says, well, lots of people threaten parents with child services to discourage parents from disciplining their children, but I'm old school, young, and still don't play that. Yeah, and you know, it's how you discipline them. Like, if you just beat them to a bloody pulp and all that, yeah, you might need to talk to somebody. But usually you should raise your children to where you can give them the look, or you can, you know, give them a couple of words of tightening up, and they'll be like, oh, yeah. Because he, like my daddy, when he got the stuttering, you didn't want to see what comes next. You just knew that was the warning. No, did I tell you? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I didn't get very many whoopings as a kid, especially from my dad. He might have tightened me up once or twice in my life, but the times that he did was unforgettable. Herschel says, if you're a man outside wearing a bonnet and you're not a chef, you need to do some serious self-reflecting. Yeah, but where's the people, the men or the women, his mama or something, like, oh, no, you ain't finna be out there with no bonnet on? Where are those people? Where are the people that can say something to him like, oh, no, homie, you going outside? I understand when men wear bonnets in the house, they want to protect the house. Okay, in the house, whatever. But where are the people that can say something to him like, nah, no doggone well, you ain't going outside wearing no bonnet, are you? I remember one time, my nephew, I ain't gonna say which one he is, but he was junior high school, something like that. He was helping my father fix the lawnmower. Now, my nephew thought he was gonna get into the, you know, the mod emo type of thing. So he had some black nail polish on his fingers. So when he's helping my dad fix the lawnmower, my dad said, is that nail polish? And my nephew was like, oh, yeah, Grandpa, it's just, you know, He says, get in there and take that nail polish off. What is you, a homosexual? And my nephew went and took that nail polish off and never put it on again. So where are those people? You know, I'm just asking. She's just not that into. He says, black women don't sweat white women, period. I don't. I can speak for myself. I don't. Tracy says, where are the men going to be held accountable? All I hear is women, the women. Yeah. And as I always, when Donovan's on here, I always tell him that your job is to hold the men accountable. My job is to hold the women accountable. I can't, you know, as much as I can, right? I can't tell a man how to be a man, how to act, or whatever the case is. But my job is, you know, to do my best to try to hold myself accountable and, you know, women, because that's what we're supposed to do, right? But I get you. Let's see. I know I'm behind. Let me skip down. Tanza, how you doing? Long time no see. Who else is on here? Maureen, what's going on with you? Anthony, how you doing? It says pat on the back ain't necessary because each person knows how they performed at a task. I played many sports and I was good at it. I never felt like a pat on the back was worth anything. There you go, right? But again, when you get to the point of everybody's a winner, like, is everybody a winner? How do you correct from that? Speed, walaikum salam to you as well. Channy, what's going on with you? Yes, you have been missing the show, and I have been missing you. I haven't seen you on here in a long time, but I hope you're doing well. Roz, how you doing? Let's see. Sister Shirley says, as a young girl told me I was old as F. I told her, I've been where you are. You better hope and pray you reach my age. They don't know. They don't know until they know, right? But yeah, talking to somebody like that, and that's why I get why a lot of people won't say anything, because it's like, what can you say to them? You out this hand, you know? But that's crazy. Thank you, Veronica. I love and appreciate you for that. Yeah, I think it's a good topic, and I couldn't and would not have it without y'all. So thank y'all for being here to have it with me. See, I said I was going to be here for 30 minutes, and it's already 46 minutes. But that's okay. Victoria, how you doing? It says, I've seen a white heifer on TikTok talking about this mess. Yeah, I've seen a couple of white women saying, don't tell me what to do. It's like, y'all should take your own advice, right? Yeah. Ume, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says the men of yesterday wasn't ish either. Is that what you're saying? Oh, that's not true. Men and women were, and there's still women now and men that are something. That's not all of us, but you know, we just need to kind of get back to where we used to be, where certain things was a absolutely no, where there was some shunning and shaming going on. You know what I mean? Where your mama would say, girl, I know doggone well you're not going out the house with that. That's what we need to get back to. Now, well, girl, you know, you can't say nothing to these kids nowadays because they just, no. Put some clothes on. Put some clothes on. I remember I was like maybe 10, 12 years ago. I was going to a party, and my dad happened to be over at my house, and I had on a dress. It wasn't short, but it wasn't long enough for his taste. Now I'm getting ready to go out the door. He says, you don't have a longer dress? That dress is kind of short. I was like, well, kind of where I'm going. It's okay. But, you know, my dad wasn't afraid to have that conversation with me. That's a short dress. But again, you know, he's Muslim. So if it don't sweep the floor, it's too short. So, yeah. All right. Let's see who else came on here. Aboriginal, how you doing? Bro, Goo, what's going on with you? Narma X, what's going on? He says, what? He says, white women, I'll say that, are fake as hell. Never forget Emmett Till. Yep, I agree with you. I think they're just kind of piggybacking on. They don't want to be told what to do, but neither do we, right? Tracy says, have to go out and come back in. Bonnets on a man. No no shock here. I'm shocked. Every time I see a man with a bonnet on, I'm like, wow. Have we gotten to that point to where men are wearing bonnets outside, nevertheless, you know? Sister Shirley says, my father didn't believe in hitting females. Shoe. My dad would tighten you up quick. But my dad wasn't, you got to tighten up from him once. It was not one you wanted again. You didn't say, well, I'm going to go ahead and just risk it because it wasn't that bad. Nah, my dad, when he tightened you up, it was, but he didn't whip me and my sister that much. But when we got to whoop it, it's because you absolutely 100% without a shadow of a doubt had it coming. Like you had it coming a week ago, but I was just going to see if you was going to correct and you didn't, right? So, yeah. But my brother, My brother Walter he got towed up, which is, he would tell you, he made me the man I am today. Now, my dad wasn't abusive, but he was like, you gonna act right, right? But then again, too, my dad had my brother at the shop with him, and my dad was a mechanic when he was 5, learning how to fix cars. So he was, teaching him manhood. I don't know. Let's see. Skipping on down. Norma says we got to correct our children with the age thing. A lot of older people accomplish more when they were a Zoomers age than most Zoomers have so far. Okay. Your average logical thinker. How you doing? Yes, indeed. Put some clothes on. Right? What can we say that to the kids anymore? Put some clothes on. Like for real. You're nearly naked here, right? Yeah, Veronica, everybody does not need to see our business. Oh my God, I can't believe I got down to the bottom. Let's see. Damien says, facts, there's a time and a place to see a woman's business. Yes. That's in the bedroom with your man or whatever the case is, right? I don't know. I'm not a man, but I think if I was one, I would be bored of seeing all the naked women. I would just be bored. It's like, okay, back in the day, y'all made us work for it. You was buttoned up a little bit, and yeah, we can see a silhouette or whatever the case is. But now y'all just bam, you're showing us everything. Booty cheeks, boobs, you name it. You hoo-ha, depending on where, what the guy. It's just like, at what point do you say, let me put some clothes on? Again, I'm not a man, but I think people are more attractive, especially women, when you have some clothes on. People, have mistaken fashion for being naked. No, fashion is actually, can you put on an outfit, put something together real nice? That's fashion. Not going to get 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid and putting it on and say, I'm going out. Where? Where are you going out? A lot of women on the Blade got on more clothes than a lot of these women that's going to the club or to the store or wherever. I don't know. I'm just asking questions, and maybe because I'm just old now or older. Mr. Norris, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says still chilling on all of it. Okay. Brother Don says never trust the she devil. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Cornell, how you doing? He said, how short was the dress? The dress probably was like to my like my thigh, between my, how your thigh muscles at the bottom and your knee. So it wasn't short, but again, my dad is FOI. So anything that's showing legs is short, right? But I respected his opinion nevertheless. I had that type of upbringing, where you got checked depending on what you were wearing out the house. I went in the 80s, mini skirts were all the rave in the 80s, right? I had a mini skirt on. It was blue jean. I bought it with my own money, and I was going out there with my blue. I was going to school. I was in the 9th grade. I'll never forget. And my stepfather, which I call him my dad, but just for context, he was like, "Where are you going with that on?" "Oh, Dad, I'm going to school." "No, you're not. You're not going to school with that skirt on." "Why? I bought it with my own money and this, that, and the other." So he says, you can't wear it to school. And so when he left, my mom was like, well, he's right. You can't wear it like that. She says, but if you put some tights on, you can wear it. So I put on some tights that you couldn't see my legs or anything like that. So it's a compromise, but he was like, absolutely not. Now looking back, I'm like, the skirt wasn't short, but I got where he was coming from. It was the 80s. My stepfather is born, I think it was 1936 or whatever, So yeah, he's like, that's a little too short. So we need to be able to get back to that. Townsend says, I'm so grateful for my old school upbringing, the teaching of self-respect. My mom used to say, if you don't have any respect for yourself, no one else will. Yeah, there you go. So when we're running around talking about the Black woman is the most disrespected, unprotected, and all that, well, does that include the disrespecting and the unprotecting that you do of other Black women and, of yourself? Does that count, or is that just an admonishment and pointing a finger at everybody else that's doing it to Black women? See, the conversation needs to be well-rounded, because as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, a nation can rise no higher than this woman. So if the woman cannot take correction, can't say nothing to her, then how will the nation rise? We stay stagnant because the woman cannot take correction. And I know I'm not leaving off the man. I'm just not having a conversation about the man right now because that's not where I'm going with that. I know the men, they got their issues too. I'm just speaking to the women right now because as a woman, I think that's my job to do. I think, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes or whatever, but Mission Vision, how you doing? Hope that you are doing well today. As y'all can see, I'm busting a sweat. Norma says, no, Demetria, we can never be bored. Trust me. Well, would you take a woman like that home? Some of these women out there that's got the cotton balls and the Band-Aid on, would you take her home to your mama? Would you even think about marrying this woman? Would you go down the aisle with this woman? Because you know who that woman ends up being? A lot of you men take her home. Y'all go down the aisle and then you carry her over the threshold. You know who that woman ends up being? She ends up being your wife that don't know how to put clothes on. So then you get to the point, well, why are you going out the house like that? Oh, no, sucker. You met me like this. Now you trying to tell me what to wear. See, so you need to impose some demands on her before she become your woman. Yeah, all that look good, but you want to be my woman, you got to put some clothes on. And I'm most definitely not going to carry you over no threshold. I'm not taking you to my mama, daddy house, nowhere until you put some clothes on. Now, if that's too hard for you to do, Miss Ma'am, then you can't be my woman. But, I know a little bit about men. Y'all look at that all day long. Y'all might even take her home. But, and some of y'all, unfortunately, do marry that woman. And again, you can't say nothing to her because you didn't say nothing to her when she was rolling around with everything hanging out. You was all in then. And I'm not saying this about you, Norma. Troy, how you doing? It says, trust me, we're not bored. Yeah, I know y'all not bored, but I'm just asking y'all. Are you taking that woman home? Catherine says age doesn't matter. And BHS, how you doing? Says, I like trash girls, but I shouldn't. Yeah, but how are you liking her all the way up down the aisle? I'm just asking. Mike says, yeah, leave something to the imagination, just a little, Nowadays it's like, yikes. We used to have laws where it was, considered indecent exposure. You back in the day, some of the stuff people wearing, you'll get a ticket, a citation for wearing the stuff. But nowadays, and my thing as a lady, right? Just as a lady, even when I go to the gym, I have on, t-shirt and some sweats. Because I don't want to sit on the gym equipment and you done sat on it with all your stuff hanging out and sitting on the seat. And, you might go to the movies or out to eat. You got a little bitty skirt on. And more than likely, they ain't wiped the chairs off. So you might have sat on the chair that another woman sat on the chair with a little bitty skirt on. And all her is, human matter is all up on the chair. And you sitting right on top of that. See, I think about stuff like that. I don't know. Mrs. South Carolina says, Demetria K, can you copyright? I don't know. Before Angel Reese get a hold of it. It's so funny. Sometimes people say, you say, I don't know a lot. It's a habit. They'll probably put that in my obituary somewhere. I don't know. Tonsa says, I really don't understand how some women that comfortable being naked. I don't either. I get it. You got a nice body and things like that, but then a minute a man looks at you 5 seconds too long, you're a creep. All right. Tracy says, have you seen how they dress for church? Yeah, that the dress code at church got a little bit wonky, a couple years back. I have seen it. It's like, what happened to the mother of the ushers, as they say, the ushers? What happened to the ushers? Like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Now, what you could do, we want you to come as you are, but not quite like that. So we got some choir robes. Go to the room, make a left, and you see the choir robes, put that on, and you can come back on in here, but you absolutely cannot come into church with that. Jesus loves you. I'm just saying. Yeah, Damon, 2 cotton balls and a Band-Aid. Yeah, average logical thing, it says, I watch those old gold digger prank videos and the stuff these girls wear outside during the day in the streets. Yeah. In broad daylight, right? Like I said, streetwalkers have on more clothes. And I haven't seen a streetwalker in a long time, but I haven't been in the streetwalker area lately. So Flashback says, first lady at the church got a BBL that your tithes pay for. Yeah, that's crazy. Tracy says, our shorts weren't allowed to be shorter than your t-shirt. You would get knocked out. Yeah, or back in the day, they had to test. And my mom used to say that too, where you put your arms down to the side and your skirt couldn't be shorter than your middle finger when you put it down to your side. So it couldn't be shorter than your middle finger. If it was any shorter than that, my mom went to school where they couldn't even wear pants to school. The girls had to wear dresses or skirts. Things have changed a lot. But even though I was in school, it was like that. Norma says, you know what a secret about how we men view skirts? We actually automatically see women as a H. If the skirt is not near the knees or lower, we don't take them seriously. Ooh. So they need to be at the knees. I got you. Taking notes. Sky Dancer, how you doing? Lachey says, yeah, respect yourself and each other first. Yep. Agent Black, how you doing? Are you working today? JJ, what's going on with you? And Tracy says, Black women are disrespected more because our men, for the most part, have made it acceptable. Some of that is true. But again, you can't have the conversation without talking about to the Black women, right? We got to put ourselves in respectable situations. Not saying that it's our fault. Don't mistake me in that. But I'm saying some of that is on us too. We got to have some standards. Like I said, one time, having a conversation with this guy, and he says, "Oh, you have a nice body," and I said, "Sir, I don't know you like that, and I never even gave you permission to talk to me like that." I said, "We having a neck up conversation." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way." Now, if I would have said, "You think so?" Then he would have, "Oh yeah, she opened the door." But that's because that's my job as a woman. We got to sometimes teach these men how to treat us. I'm sorry, sir. We was having a neck up conversation. I didn't give you permission to talk about anything below my neck. And he said he was sorry, right? And we didn't really speak that much after that. The average logical thing, it says, nope, speak on it, D. BHS, it says, I take her behind a TGF Friday dumpster, but not home. I have nice things. Well, see, if you would just take her behind a TGA a Fridays, whatever, dumpster, then you shouldn't be behind that dumpster with her, right? Because, and I'm not saying you, I think maybe you're joking, but it says a lot about a person that would even put their, hold on. Let me find my illustration for y'all, because for a man that would even put his in a woman like that, why? I'm just asking. Yeah, it's a logical thing. It says I've seen plenty of 3 or 4s get married the first year later. Yeah, they do, but then that man be like, I can't say nothing to her. She won't listen to me. Nah, you just, you was GTD. And if you know, you know. What's GTD before I get out of here? I'm going to see, who knows? Norma says, down the aisle only if she changes how she dresses after we get together. Yeah, but she might not, right? Mike, you crazy. You're going to get us all in trouble with that one. The one who cares says, exactly, let's leave a little something to the imagination. Yeah, we just should, right? Damon says, play the thong song. Yeah, you see all of that and then some, right? Nowadays, you wish they had on a thong. Yeah, I was logical think of juices and berries on the seats, and y'all do what you want with that. The Rock, how you doing? Says Dimitri, can The Rock? He says, can The Rock get his wrench? What? Let's see. Tanja says, I know, right, Dimitri, I'm very cautious where I sit on seats. You gotta be, right? Shaw, how you doing? Says, how could you tell who's a streetwalker nowadays? I heard a wise man once say, nowadays you can't tell the 304s from the housewives. And you used to be able to. Sky Dancer is 95 degrees in New York. Yeah, it is pretty hot here as well. One who cares says, I attended the rodeo here the past Saturday. There was so many women scantily dressed. I felt ashamed. Yeah, when the rodeo was here, same thing. Booty. It wasn't even just booty cheeks. It was just booty everywhere, right? Black Butterfly, how you doing? Long time no see. Says, I've seen a few, and I didn't think I was in that type of a neighborhood. Talk about streetwalkers. Wow. Veronica says, I have to check my youngest daughter. I told her, you are not going to the store with me looking like that. There you go. We got to still teach them, right? You say you go near the military base. Oh, yeah, well, that's a different story over there. Black Butterfly. Agent Black says, got off work early, but I'm going to be having tight shifts soon. So hopefully I'll still be able to catch you on weekdays. If not, at least be able to catch some of the Sundays. Well, I love and appreciate you for trying anyway. And don't work too hard. Let's see. T. Austin, how you doing? There you go. GTD. Got the draws. From Martin. That was Tommy and Martin when they went to court. Catherine says, I literally choked all my chicken when you said that, D. Carrie says, women in competition to get a man. Yeah, but you want to get the right man, not a man that's just, with you because you're naked, right? Let's see, Jerron, how you doing? Says the eyes are telling. Tin Man, how you doing? Says the feminist movement is a sinking ship. Yeah, it is. I think it's fizzled out and it's done. The damage is done, and now we need to correct that, right? Let's see. As Edgy says, 304 is a highway in Canada. Oh. Brother Reggie, how you doing? Yeah, you late. I'm about to get out of here because I overstayed my welcome. I said I was going to be on here a half an hour, and an hour and 5 minutes later, here we is. You say back in Japan. Yes, I'm glad you made it back in Japan. As we've heard that Iran has sent some missiles to Qatar. I think it was a U.S. military base over there. So yeah, it's I don't know. Just keep your head on swivel about that and definitely pay attention. But I'm glad that you made it back safely. Brother Salam, how you doing? Says Sister Demetra K, you are as beautiful, black sister as ever. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. Narma says, women, the body is not what determines if you win in competition for men. You're absolutely right. You say it's how friendly you are to them. Yeah, and let's keep it a buck. It helps to look nice, right? And a man is going to be attracted to who he's attracted to, whether you're skinny, fat, whatever it is, right? But you're right. The body will catch the attention of a man, but it's going to be your mind and your mouth and your heart, right? That's going to keep them. I think for the most part now. There's just some men out there that don't want to be kept, but no, I've said too much. Black Butterfly says, glad I caught you live. Yes, indeed. I'm glad you caught me. Anyway, I love and appreciate y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be sure to go watch Brother Phil on African Diaspora News Channel as he's about to go live in about 8 minutes. So I'm sure whatever he talks about is going to be something we need to hear. So anyway, I will be back here again by myself. I don't think Donovan will be here because he is in the DR, right? He's doing some medical stuff in the DR. But if he joins us, that'll be great. But if not, I'll definitely be here at 5 p.m. Central Time. So in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.